We're here today to talk about the closed handling system of propanil developed by Willowood USA. This is a pallet of propanil 80 CHS, and today we want to show you the closed handling system. This was a requirement that started in March of 2013 that all dry propanil across the U.S. be in a closed handling system. And what we decided to do at Willowood USA is to utilize a proven closed handling system called the Lock and Load, which is developed and the rights owned by AMVAC Corporation. This is a Lock and Load container, and I'm going to show you how this works here in a minute. But before I do that, I want to show you the inside of this pallet. I'm just removing the top. There's 4 white tabs that hold the pallet top in place. And then inside here, I'm hoping that you can see that these lock and loads are nested as it's a 3 by 3 by 3 configuration. In fact, half of this pallet comes apart, so you can slide this part out, and it allows you to get to each of the units. So if you're out in a field situation and you're getting to these units, you can easily access them. You'll notice on the bottom, as I mentioned earlier, the fact that there's an inset, so each of these nest into one another, kind of holds the pallet in reasonable shape. And then of course, as you use these, and I'll show you how they're used here in a minute, as they're emptied, you can return them to the pallet, reconfigure the pallet, re-put the top on, making sure that the clips are done and engaged, and then this entire unit, the pallet and the empties, are returnable. We inspect them, refill them, and use them for multiple years. So what I'd like to do now is show you a little more of the details of the unit itself over here on the back of the pickup. This is the Lock and Load unit. You'll notice it's got sturdy handles on either end, which allows the user to easily maneuver the device. Each of the containers has a dust cap. So this little cap kind of protects the thread system and the valve itself. The unit itself is a male valve. And then on the receiving end, this is the female valve that we provide any of the growers that want to utilize this system. This female valve, as you can see, has a cap on it as well. You'll notice it's spring-loaded and of course threaded to match the threads on the male unit. On the bottom, you'll see a little dispersing unit, and then also there's just a series of 6 or so nuts that you can remove. And these female valves can be retrofitted to any spray type tank that you have that you're using for your propanil mixture. I've done a couple of these in my garage just to show you. And as I remove these nuts, I'll show you how I did it. Basically, on each of these valves, you'll see there's a little rubber gasket. You use this gasket actually as your template. So depending on your spray tank and what it is you're trying to retrofit with this female valve, you can use this and a Sharpie, just outline it as to where you want to install it, drill the holes, cut out the center. And as an example, I did these yesterday. These were done in my garage. This is the top of a Snyder tank. These are very popular up in Northern California. This would be the cap that would normally be on the top of your mix tank. I just simply jigsawed it out, drilled the holes, and retrofitted this valve on here. So now you would just screw this back onto your mix tank and you're ready to use the Lock and Load system. Another example, this happens to be a little bit of a different spray tank apparatus. This is called a Norvesco, and very similar. Again, I just cut it out, installed the female valve, and it's ready to go. Depending on your mix tank, you can retrofit any mix tank, including stainless steel, with this receiving female valve. So let me show you how this works. In order to really show you, I decided not to use real propanil. This is just filled with standard kitty litter. It's representative of what you would see in a real mix situation. But I've taken this plexiglass container for visual purposes to show you how this works. I installed the female valve, as you can see here at the top. Just simply lift the valve off. And you'll notice, just as this thing engages up and down, spring-loaded, the male portion does the same thing. If you look carefully, I'm not sure if you can see this on the camera, but you'll see this portion right here is spring-loaded as well. So these big wide threads engage into the female receptor, and it's real easy. As you twist this, as you lock it, so to speak, it begins the loading process. This lock and load container, Willowood Propanil 80 CHS, contains 30 pounds. The normal use rate for propanil in rice ranges anywhere from 5 to 7.5 pounds. We chose 30 pounds for a reason. If you're spraying at the 5-pound rate, since this is 30 pounds, this container would treat 6 acres. If you're spraying at the 6-pound rate, of course divisible by 30 as well, this would treat 5 acres. And at the high rate, which is 7.5 pounds, this 30-pound container would spray 4 acres of rice. So you'll notice I just grabbed the handles again. There's material in here. You can see it's truly a closed system. There's nothing coming out. Now to simulate a spray tank, I would just slip this on, and as I rotate it, you'll notice it engages, and you can see the propanil flowing freely into the mix tank. There's no dust, no granules. I can slow it down. I can stop it completely. I can remove it by twisting and lifting, and again, still no leakage. Again, re-engage, lock and load, and again, the material flows freely. You can stop it at any time. Again, no granule leakage. Replace the dust cap, and you're ready to go. Lock and load. Willowood Propanil 80 CHS, we think it's the answer to the closed system regulation, not only here in California, but across the U.S. You can contact your Willowood sales rep by visiting our website at www.willowoodusa.com. We're all listed there. Find your local rep and ask more about how you can get a hold of this stuff. Thank you for your time.